there's one that you definitely wouldn't substitute for from an Everton point of view is Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, Tony. I mean, last night, I'm going to say, I'm not the only one who said it, but Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall should have been playing in a more of a deeper lying holding midfield role. And again, it's probably been pushed back further out of necessity. I don't want to take anything away from David Moyes and his team selection, but obviously with Alcaraz coming in and the lack of options in midfield, it was Bournemouth and Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, and I just felt we looked a little bit more comfortable with him playing a little bit deeper. You could see the midfield balance was there. I felt like he was progressing the ball forward. Some of his passing, because he's got that space in front of him, was so crisp. It was so on target, and he was bringing the ball forward as well. I be honest, I thought there was a couple of candidates, as you said. I think Jake O'Brien was up there, probably. Who else was up there? Probably you could maybe say Alcaraz, but I thought Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall was my man of the match.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think Dewsbury-Hall's had a hell of a week, hasn't he? Obviously, that goal at Old Trafford. The goal against Newcastle as well was world class, which will probably be forgotten about in years to come. The fact that he actually trapped it and then knocked it past, obviously, Ramsdale, it was a brilliant goal. Not as good as, obviously, Bergkamp to the world and whatnot, but it was still a hell of a goal. And then I followed that up with a terrific win. I think he's got the bit between his teeth at Everton, Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. You can see that he enjoys playing his football here. The Evertonians have took to him, and he's took to them. When he speaks about the football club, he always speaks about the fans as well. And I know it's an old cliche, and players can come out with "Oh yeah, I'm doing it for the fans," but you can see it in his face that it actually means something to him to play in front of these supporters and what it means to them. And I think that he's enjoying his life at Everton, and there's nothing better if he's enjoying his football than then performances are going to blossom. And the fact that he's pulling the strings, and I think with him at the moment, I think he needs to fit alongside an Ruben alongside him, or someone with a big physique or a big stature. But because I think that when you're coming up in the Premier League to play in that 10 position, I think you need to. I think it's a little bit. If you want me to ask me personal opinion on that number 10 role, I think it's a little bit outdated, to be honest. I think there's not many players that play in that role in the Premier League in terms of world class. I think you've seen Liverpool, what's happening today with they brought Florian Wirtz in. It hasn't fitted in for him in that number 10. They like to put him on the left-hand side now. I think Cole Palmer probably springs to mind. He's probably the best in that position, but then again, he can drift in and out and onto the wing. So where Dewsbury-Hall's been playing in that 10 role, I think the game's passing you by in the Premier League now because it's so direct. So your midfields have got to get on the ball, or you get long throws, or obviously set plays now where the defences just go along to the centre forwards. So I think that number 10 role is becoming a little bit dated in the Premier League. With that, I think Dewsbury-Hall, with being the ball player he is, it fits him ideally to play in that number 8 role alongside maybe a Ruben or just a Ghana guy, because if he's got the ball, he's going to hurt teams. He's got a wand of a left foot. We've seen what he's done this week. He can do some damage with it. And yeah, I'm a big advocate of making him make sure that he's in that number 8 role. I'd rather see him in a deep line centre midfield role alongside a Garner or just a guy or a Ruben along there, and then you can maybe put an Alcaraz or someone else or a Tyler Dibbling or whatever it may be in that role fitting in there. But Dewsbury-Hall's a proper footballer. Probably, if you want to look at him, he's a proper Everton footballer, made to play for Everton Football Club. That's how I recommend him.
And he's, you said it in so many words there, but he's thriving with the responsibility. For me, he is, I don't think he's quite there yet, but he's certainly starting to become one of the leaders, the vocal leaders in the team. He's always coming out, like you say, if things don't go right, he'll make sure that he comes out and says stuff, and he's always praising the fans. He always seems to be in shock at how the fans react to goals. I don't know where the teams that he played for in the past, the fans don't celebrate. But yeah, I'm been very impressed with them over the past couple of weeks, and hopefully there is more to come.